Brotherhood.
Driven.
Family.
Relentless. We've had our back against the wall. We gave everybody a reason to just quit, everybody a reason to stop. But losing teammates, losing people at this young age is not normal.
These are the words of football players from Chester High, Northeast, and Boys Latin Charter, 3 high schools in Philadelphia, PA that are woven together through their love of football, brotherhood, and the pursuit of bettering their lives on and off the field.
You know, this season the team is planning on playing for those guys, and it's just tragic, you know.
2021 was the deadliest year for Philadelphia on record. More than 400 people lost their lives to gun violence. But perhaps the people gun violence affect the most are youth.
It was a heartbreaking memorial earlier in the evening, not just because folks were remembering that 16-year-old boy who was shot and killed last week, but also there were tears for other students of the same school who have been killed by gun violence over the years.
We lost players, 2 players that was very important to this team. And one should be a senior right now, and one should be a sophomore.
Kids should be kids, but when their worlds are rocked as they have faced unimaginable loss and tragic tribulations, football's where they turn.
The way you honor someone that you love is by working hard in the classroom first and then putting that product on the field secondary, and just play with the same spirit that he played with.
This 3-part docuseries will explore these 3 schools throughout their seasons, beginning to end, and the deep brotherhoods that run through none other than the city of brotherly love. Heartache.
He was like a brother to me.
Triumph.
It's remarkable, how much of a historic season that we're having.
And bonds.
We're not just teammates, we're more of a family. We come together when needed. We're family.
Unlike any other, are found in Relentless Drive, presented by Hyundai.
Both students came from our middle school program, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Kalen Johnson was quarterback at the middle school. He was set to be the quarterback at the high school this year. The students were very beloved. Just so sad they were here for summer school that day, and then and they came to summer school voluntarily. They didn't need to be here.
Not only are the students of Northeast, Chester, and Boys Latin in the midst of the gun violence epidemic at a young age, but also the COVID-19 pandemic that has dramatically impacted their lives. For Boys Latin head coach Pat Montgomery, the familial relationships the team formed as a result of lost teammates, a canceled season, and virtual learning emphasized what football can do off the playing field.
You lose essentially a year of development with some of the players. There's only so many different Zoom calls you can do or Zoom workouts that you can do. Until you get them in front of you and really can be out on the field and working with them, that's when the true development comes. And for the kids in the city, it's been tough. They have a lot of other circumstances that they go through and have to deal with, and that's why it's so important that we have our arms around them and have the ability to work with them on a daily basis on the field, because it's going to help them in their development in other phases of their life. And football teaches so much to them. I think the one thing about this team is I'm not sure they know exactly how good they can be. It's sometimes I think they need to experience a little bit. Once they get that experience of knowing, hey, we are actually what we think we are, I think that'll help. Obviously, the goal is always to, play in the state title or in the state playoffs. Expectations, I think we have a chance to be really good. We're young, and as long as the young guys continue to develop and move forward the way they are, I think we have a chance to be, pretty good. They're a pretty tight-knit group. They've gone through a lot in the last year through COVID and everything else, and I think that's helped bond them and keeps them close together and meshing well. And so if they continue to do that, I think we're going to be fine.
We're not just teammates, we're more of a family. We come together when needed. We're family.
A team's bond is unlike any other. 8 state championships for Chester High School's basketball program echo that. But for Chester football, it's all about changing the narrative. As Chester's physical education teacher, interim athletic director, and head football coach, LaDante Bell took his student athletes from worst to first in 6 years, crediting the focus and support in the classroom to the field as a result.
Our team is like a big family. You know, when you come, you're automatically bought in and just, you experience what it's like to be one of us from day one. All of our coaches care deeply about us. It's like we're their little brothers or we're their sons. They'll all look at us that way, and it's great to be a part of this family.
When I applied for the job, 2016 it was, the question was asked to me, why would I be the person for the job? And my honest answer was consistency. You know, every day just chopping it down every day. First started out, we were 2-8. Second year, 2-8. Third year, 3-7. Following year, 3-7. Then turned it around to a 7-3 record, and then 5-1 United 10 champions. So consistency. So that's what we're stressing to the young men. Just stay at it. Main goals, one is to be disciplined, to understand about time, not to take advantage of time. And it's with the saying, to be early is to be on time, and to be on time is to be late. And that's one of the sayings within our locker room, within the coach's office. Time is really of the essence. So we try not to waste time in the locker room, nor in the field, in the classroom. That's truly the biggest goal that we have, is to value the time that we have with the sport that we love.
Coming into the spring season, we had a purpose. We was doing it bigger than us, bigger than our parents, bigger than our brothers, sisters. You know, we was doing this for the guys. So I think that was one of the biggest things, and it was very hard. You know, going in the season and looking to your left and your right and not seeing those guys, it was hard.
When I first came on the scene, a couple of months into it, lost one of my players, Zion Abdullah. He was gunned down, murdered in Chester, in the city, and he wasn't the last. Ed Harmon, he was murdered, and Nakeish Davis, he was murdered as well. So when you hear the young men say, we're doing it for the guys, that's what our United 10 season was all about. We created a culture, Exit 6. The city is behind it, everyone loves it, but the players are really playing not for the game, not for themselves, but for the guys. So they're really emotional, you know, so, But they get emotional, I get emotional.
I think football is definitely a way out. Any sport is a way out, but here, when you play football, you have all odds against you. You know, they don't recruit here. It's just harder to make it out playing football here. So I think one of the things that we've done over the last 2 years, while I've been here at least, was really just focus on, you know, it being bigger than football. So at the next level, you know, we can go to college. Our guys can go to college. So the last 2 years, we've got a lot of guys in college, which is not normal. And so we just changing the narrative around. Our goals this season are to make it to playoffs and to be the first Chester High team to ever make it to playoffs, so we can show people that we're not just, this wasn't an accident. You know, this is something that we did and that we worked to achieve.
For the guys on me, for the guys on 3. 1, 2, 3. For the guys!
And doing it for the guys is something that Northeast head coach Eric Clark knows all too well. As an alumni of Northeast program and former assistant on the staff, he has stressed the blue-collar mentality of the city to his group and where hard work and teamwork can lead you.
So Northeast High School is a pretty big school. It's a very diverse culture. The team is very close. It's like a real brotherhood. Everybody loves each other. Everybody gets on each other's backs about everything.
We're a very hard-nosed program. I feel like our coaches, as well as any other staff in our school, holds us to a very high standard.
Our team culture is a tough, gritty, hard-nosed group of young men. Just growing up in this city is something that's not learned. It's just something that, you know, they grow up with. And I never had a group of young men that was more mentally focused and, you know, just hard-working. We know the hurdles that are in front of us. Just continue to have open dialogue about, you know, trauma and how we can work through that. You know, we don't have the answers to a lot of those things that's out of our hands. But what we can do is, through the hours that we're in school and the hours that we're, you know, playing ball, is just continue to love, work hard, and hopefully things will change. Kyrie, I think about him every single day. We share our laughs and our jokes about Kyrie, and I'm honored to be a part of his life, and he'll never be forgotten. We miss him, and we're dedicating this season, to him as well. We know the preparation that it's going to take. We know how we have to practice, how we have to, study film, how we have to lift weights, and that's not just in season, that's year round. So, staying within the guidelines of, up and down protocols, we believe we've been doing everything that we can to prepare to make a good deep run.
Coming up on the second episode of Relentless Drive presented by Hyundai.
Let's go, Indy.
It's remarkable, how much of a historic season that we're having.
I knew going into the season that our guys were ready. We had a real good offseason. We had a lot of momentum coming in from the spring, so.
I think this is probably the best year that I've had with this team.
We just have to know to overcome certain challenges that come with the game of football and life.
It kind of brought us closer with the older guys understanding that we got to take in the younger guys, and the younger guys understanding that us older guys got their back. We don't let them fall, and they don't let us fall.
I expected it to be challenging, some games and stuff like that. I didn't expect it to be like this schedule-wise. I thought we was gonna play all our games, no mess-ups, no canceled games. I thought we was gonna have every game to play this season, but we only playing with 4 or 5 games.
For me, it affected me deeply because I was trying to get more film. This is my junior year, the most important year for your football career. So I was just trying to just make it through.